My child, attention. Stop what you are doing for a moment. Do not skip this. Do not treat this as noise. Stay here with me. Give me 1 minute of your full focus. This is mercy, not marketing. I am not entertaining you. I am appointing you. If you are hearing this now, this is divine timing meeting your life in real time. When I interrupt like this, it is because movement is required inside you first. Listen carefully. Silence was not absence. Silence was alignment forming. I know the ache that rose when the answers did not arrive on your schedule. I know the heaviness that settled when nights stretched long and the room felt void of direction. You asked, did I do something wrong? Did I imagine your promise? Am I behind? You felt ignored, delayed, and left to interpret emptiness as rejection. Hear me clearly now. I did not reject you. I refined you. I did not forget you. I protected you. I held my voice steady and quiet because I was arranging what you could not see, gathering pieces you did not know were missing, softening hearts you thought were set, and closing paths that would have stolen you from yourself. Do not scroll past this. Breathe and remain present. My child, this 1 minute is an altar of attention. Your mind has been racing. Your hands have been striving. Your heart has been tired of guessing. You do not need to push here. You need to receive. I am not late. I am not silent without purpose. The quiet season was the carpentry of your future. Measured, precise, patient. Alignment is delicate work. If I speak too soon, you move too fast. If I open too early, you carry what you cannot yet sustain. I whispered less so that you would learn to notice more. I saw you in the spaces no one applauded, the mornings you rose anyway, the prayers you repeated when they felt thin, the questions you asked without accusation, the tears you hid because you did not want to discourage others. I saw the courage it took to wait when moving would have been easier to explain. You did not lose me in the silence. You were learning to locate me without the noise. You were not abandoned. You were apprenticed in stillness. That was me strengthening your core so you would not collapse under the weight of what is approaching. Hear this and let it settle. The emptiness you feared was not a void. It was room I was making. I was clearing out agreements with lesser plans. I was disentangling you from pressures that masqueraded as opportunities. I was tuning your desires so that when the moment came, you would want what would not wound you. You called it delay. I call it calibration. You called it being stuck. I call it being steadied. Stay with me. Do not hurry past this word because it refuses the cadence of your anxiety. I am placing a foundation under your feet. This message will explain the delay, the silence, and what I formed in you, not to rush you, but to keep you from drifting. You will see why doors closed, why calls went unanswered, why certain paths strangely resisted you. You will understand how my quiet built your capacity and guarded your future. For now, accept my first correction. Silence was not absence. Silence was alignment forming around you and within you. Keep your heart open, be calm and attentive. We begin here. My child, listen carefully now. Do not confuse my restraint with refusal. Do not label my guarding as withholding. What you begged me to speed up would have broken you if it arrived before the pieces were ready to receive you. Hear me, not punishment, not neglect, not rejection, protection. You asked for doors to fling open, but some rooms were not safe yet. Systems were brittle, motives around you were mixed, and alliances were forming that would have required you to trade your peace for access. I refused to let you pay that price. I would not usher you into a table set with your name, but seasoned with compromise. I covered you in delay because I loved you too much to let you succeed in a way that would wound your soul. I saw variables you could not see. People you would rely on were still learning integrity. Deadlines you thought were final were about to move. A leader who would have shaped you harshly needed to be moved out of your path. Resources that look abundant in one season can dry up in the next. I would not strap your future to a faucet I planned to shut. Do you understand? I arranged conversations you were not in, softened hearts you had given up on, exposed intentions that flattered you but did not favor you. I positioned mentors you had not yet met. I shifted calendars you did not control. I untied knots in places you thought were smooth. My orchestration is larger than your line of sight. When I pause you, I am often protecting more than you and preparing more for you than what is visible. I did not despise your questions. I did not scold your tired prayers. Waiting does that to the honest heart. It brings every suspicion to the surface and demands an answer. You asked, "Am I the holdup? Did I miss the sign? Is this dream too big, or am I too small?" I heard every word without irritation. I received those questions as offerings because they were the sound of you refusing to go numb. You were not faithless because you felt frustrated. Weariness is not rebellion. What matters is that you kept bringing your ache to me and not to your pride. You looked for me even when I seemed quiet. That was precious to me. Understand the principle I am placing in your hands. Promises have weight. Destiny has density. Calling is not confetti, it is cargo. If I place weight in hands not yet strengthened, the gift becomes a burden that crushes the one I love. I do not put you under what I intend to put on you. I train your grip. I thicken your frame. I make your shoulders trustworthy. Sometimes the training looks like delay, but it is actually distribution. Strength into your patience, steel into your discernment, humility into your influence. I am not interested in moments you cannot maintain. I am forming a life that can carry what I promised without breaking under it. Let me tell you what early would have done. Early would have attracted attention without anchors. Early would have yoked you to people who want your output more than your outcome. Early would have married you to a version of yourself you were just outgrowing. Early would have called your anxiety hustle, your overgiving generosity, your boundarylessness favor. I would not stamp my name on that. I was protecting you from counterfeit confirmations that would have celebrated you publicly and starved you privately. Protection sometimes felt like losing. It was actually me rescuing you from smaller futures that looked big to the impatient eye. I closed specific doors because the timing on the other side was wrong, even if the opportunity looked right. I restrained you from platforms where your voice would be used but not heard. I let applications go unanswered because the cost hidden in the fine print would have bound your hands. I stalled partnerships because the soil was shallow and the roots would have strangled each other. Do not romanticize what I rescued you from. If you could see what I saw, you would worship me for every no I spoke on your behalf. My child, when I say protection, I mean I placed myself between you and outcomes that would have outpaced your health. This protection was not only around you, it was also within you. If I guarded your circumference, I was also preparing your core. External delay without internal formation only breeds bitterness. I did not allow that in you. I used the quiet to reorder your motives, to simplify your yes, to separate ambition from calling. I cleaned the lens through which you see success so that glory would not become your god. I taught you to hunger for fruit over fireworks, wisdom over virality, presence over applause. The next season requires a different version of you, more grounded, more deliberate, more at home in peace than in pressure. So I prepared you while I protected you. Do not scroll past this truth. You were not sidelined. You were shielded. Not punishment, not neglect, not rejection. Protection, divine timing meeting your life in real time. I am not late. I am precise. And now, because the people, the timing, the resources, and the conditions have been arranged, and because your inner world has been steadied, you will notice that what resisted you is beginning to release you. Do not rush. Breathe. Recognize how I held the door until your hands could hold what the door leads to. What you prayed for is not being denied. It has been defended. And because I defended it and defended you, you will carry it differently when it arrives. Stay with me. If I have guarded you this carefully on the outside, trust what I am about to do on the inside next. My child, attention, stay with me. Do not skip this moment because it moves slower than your impatience. What I guarded on the outside, I was growing on the inside. I was building capacity in you. Hear me. You were not stuck. You were being strengthened to carry what is coming without being crushed by it. Capacity is not a trend. Capacity is the invisible strength that holds visible blessing without losing peace. Capacity is emotional stability when pressure spikes. Capacity is discernment when options multiply. Capacity is patience when timelines flex. Capacity is self-control when applause invites excess. Capacity is the ability to stand steady in honor when opportunities arrive, to keep your yes clean when rooms get loud, to choose wisdom over speed, presence over performance, my voice over the crowd. Do you want to understand why the pace seemed slow? It will explain the delays. It will explain the silence. It will explain the refining. I was not delaying to frustrate you. I was lengthening your roots so you would not topple when favor adds height. I was teaching you to breathe instead of brace. I was training your heart to remain soft while your spine grew strong. I was strengthening your yes so it could outlast excitement. I was taming your urgency so it would not masquerade as obedience. I was forming in you the muscle memory of peace so that when doors open, you would walk through them with a grounded spirit instead of a frantic soul. You mistook the churn within you as failure. Hear me, that was not anxiety, that was transition. I was stretching your internal capacity to hold tension without collapsing, joy and uncertainty in the same day, progress and misunderstanding in the same conversation, vision and waiting in the same week. I was teaching you to survive contradictions without cursing your calling. I was preparing your heart before I moved your circumstances. Internal change precedes external manifestation. I start the miracle in the unseen, motives refined, appetites reset, attention reclaimed. Then the outward follows. You felt the stir long before you saw the shift because you were ahead of the manifestation, not mistaken about it. I watched you strengthen in ways no one clapped for. You learned to pause before replying. You learned to pray before planning. You learned to say no when old patterns demanded a yes. You apologized faster, forgave sooner, and chose quiet over argument when quiet would produce more truth. You set boundaries that protected your peace without hardening your heart. You allowed me to detox your need for constant confirmation. These do not trend on any platform, but they carry weight in mine. Many start with fire, few endure with wisdom. You were being deepened where there was no stage, and that is where I measure substance. Understand this. Calling has density. Influence carries gravity. Blessing expands responsibility. Without capacity, favor fractures. Without strength, opportunity overwhelms. I would not let that be your story, so I put you in rooms where you had to be faithful without feedback. I let you face problems that could not be solved in one prayer, so your endurance would grow muscles, not blisters. I allowed you to experience slow answers, so your spirit would be trained to remain steady and not be lured by shortcuts dressed as solutions. This was not punishment. It was preparation. You were paused because you were being positioned. You called it spinning your wheels. I call it laying foundations. You will not have time to pour later. You wanted announcements. I gave you anchors. You asked for exposure. I gave you roots. Because what I am giving you must be held by someone who does not panic when praised, who does not break when criticized, who does not barter identity for inclusion. I taught you to prefer fruit to fireworks, depth to display, and to measure success by obedience, not by noise. I strengthened your capacity to celebrate others without shrinking, to receive correction without shame, to say yes without resentment, to say no without fear. Do not dismiss the hidden progress because it did not come with applause. The miracles I worked in you look like this. You slept through a night you would have stared through 6 months ago. You brought me your racing thoughts instead of building a fortress around them. You waited 24 hours before reacting and discovered the storm was inside you, not around you. You looked at a closed door and blessed it rather than banging your head against it. You stopped interpreting delay as personal failure. You began to ask better questions. What are you forming in me? Instead of, what are you withholding from me? These were not small. These were signs that your capacity was expanding. Do not scroll past this. Let this truth correct your narrative. You did not go backward. You went below. You did not lose momentum. You gained maturity. You were not benched. You were being built. Selection in my house is not about speed. It is about substance. I do not promote flimsy souls into heavy spaces. I refine until your peace is portable, your discernment is sharp, your patience is protective, and your self-control is a friend, not a jailer. I do this so that when increase arrives, you will not outsource your stability to circumstances. You will carry blessing without losing your peace, authority without losing your tenderness, access without losing your awe. My child, this revelation is mercy because it removes the shame you have carried about your pace. Divine timing meeting your life in real time will make sense when seen through capacity. When I widen your interior, I can widen your influence. When I quiet your fears, I can trust you with rooms that fear loud voices. When I settle your identity, I can place you where praise or criticism will not move you off-center. This was my work in you, and it is nearly complete for the season ahead. Now hear the pivot that matters for what follows. Once capacity is built, the next conflict is interpretation. How you interpreted my silence shaped your confidence. How you read the quiet determined whether you stood or spiraled, whether you stayed present or reached for striving. I am coming for that too, not to shame you, but to train you. Because as the window opens, your breakthrough will not come by pushing harder. It will come by calm, present responsiveness. So breathe. Stay with me. Let what I have strengthened in you become the way you listen, the way you move, and the way you answer when I whisper next. My child, attention. Stay with me here. Do not skip this because your mind wants resolution more than revelation. We are dealing now with how you read the quiet. You prayed and heard nothing. You fasted and felt little. The room seemed to echo your questions back to you. The quiet felt like distance. The lack of immediate answers tempted you to name yourself overlooked and to call my patience indifference. You wondered if you had fallen out of favor because the wind did not rush and the doors did not swing. Hear me. You were not abandoned in that silence. You were apprenticed. You concluded, if I cannot feel you, I cannot find you. I am correcting that conclusion now. I was not ignoring you. I was training you to recognize my guidance beyond your feelings. Not always loud, not always instant, but always present. My voice is not confined to adrenaline or goosebumps. My leadership is not limited to obvious signs or easy roads. I was teaching you my other languages, wisdom that interrupts your panic, boundaries that protect your peace, counsel that steadies your next step, a holy pause that saves you from a hurried yes. I was tuning your ear to subtlety so that you would not confuse volume with clarity or speed with direction. Do not scroll past this. The quiet season was a kindness. I weaned you from dependence on constant reassurance so you could grow into steady trust. Reassurance is milk. Trust is meat. I will not let you live on sugar when I am forming strength. I let the noise thin out so the roots could thicken. I dimmed the outer lights so you could locate the flame I placed within you, the witness of my spirit, the sanity of my peace, the guardrails of my word in your mouth. You asked for a sign. I gave you a compass. You wanted lightning. I gave you discernment. You wanted a map. I gave you me, present, faithful, sometimes quiet, always near. You learned more than you realized in those unremarkable days. You learned to breathe before you broadcast. You learned to ask better questions. What is the wise thing now instead of what will make this feeling stop? You learned to wait without collapsing, to let the hour pass without tormenting it. For information it was not yet holding. You practiced pausing long enough to notice when urgency was a costume for fear. You chose counsel over consensus, alignment over applause, small obedience over large performance. You became someone who can sit in a hallway without vandalizing the door. This is maturity. This is capacity. This is how I know you are ready to carry what comes next without being carried away by it. You feared the silence meant your faith was fading. It did not. Your faith was changing shape. Infatuation sobers into covenant. Sparks settle into steady flame. The early rush yields to a deeper resolve. This is not regression. This is growth. You learn to hear me differently. Through the check in your spirit that said, not yet. Through the settled knowing that said, this is the way, walk in it. Through the fatigue you finally honored as wisdom saying, rest now or regret later. Through the strength you found to give a quiet no to opportunities that would have required you to amputate your peace. You were not losing me. You were losing the need to be constantly entertained by me. I am not entertaining you. I am appointing you. Pay attention to what the silence exposed and then healed. It revealed your addiction to immediacy. It showed you where fear tried to masquerade as diligence. It uncovered the way you mistook busyness for fruitfulness. Then I healed you. I placed patience where panic lived. I installed discernment where guessing ruled. I put guardrails where you used to improvise, not all at once, not loudly, but certainly, not always loud, not always instant, but always present. That refrain is yours now. Carry it. Repeat it when the next quiet day arrives. Let it unhook you from the need to force outcomes or manufacture peace. Do you see the shift? You are less reactive. You are more responsive. You notice my peace arriving like a soft weight on your chest, telling you to take the slower road. You notice my warning when a conversation drains light from the room. You listen for alignment, not adrenaline. You measure decisions by fruit, not fireworks. You are becoming the kind of person whose yes does not require a stage and whose no does not require an apology. This is what I wanted for you. Stability that does not depend on circumstances to be calm. Intimacy that does not demand constant signs to be secure. Understand this and let it anchor you. The silence did not remove me from your life. It refined how you listen and how you stand. The quiet trained your posture. It taught you to plant your feet in truth when emotions waver. It taught you to return to what I last said instead of inventing a new word to soothe a new worry. It taught you to keep your hands open, your schedule flexible, your heart soft, your spine strong. This is inner alignment. This is the unseen readiness that makes visible change sustainable. And this is where chosen identity is proven, not in the celebration, but in the endurance. Many love me at the moment of arrival. Few trust me in the stretch between promise and manifestation. You stayed. You kept showing up to the unglamorous classroom of ordinary days. You let me write patience into your reflexes. I saw it. I measured it. I mark it now as evidence. If you are seeing this now, it is finally your time, not to strive, but to stand, to hear without hurry, to move because you are led and not because you are loud. Stay with me. The window approaches, and your calm responsiveness will be your key. Do not rush. Do not reach for noise. Receive the peace you have learned to recognize, and you will know exactly when to step. My child, attention. Stay here with me and hear this without rushing past it. I saw you when no one applauded. I saw the nights you lay awake and still chose to believe. I saw the mornings you rose without a cheer and still showed up to honor what I asked of you. I saw the tears you swallowed so others wouldn't carry your burden, and I saw you bring that same burden to me in the quiet. I saw the invitations you declined because peace said, not yet. I saw the rooms you left quietly when compromise tried to rename wisdom. I saw the messages you did not send, the arguments you did not fuel, the explanations you did not demand. I saw you keep going, not loudly, not perfectly, but faithfully. Do not scroll past this. You call it ordinary. I call it evidence. This is where choosing actually happens, not under lights but under pressure, not on stages but in small rooms, not in the rush of affirmation but in the slow work of staying when staying does not make sense to the crowd. Hear me. I did not choose you because you were flawless. I chose you because you were willing, not because you never failed, but because you kept returning, not because you were the loudest, but because you were loyal to what I said when the volume dropped. Selection in my house is not about speed, it is about substance. Many start strong, few stay steady. You stayed. You have feared being overlooked. You have watched others be named while you were still nameless, and you wondered if I had forgotten where you live. Hear me and let this correct your labels. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in the crowd. I do not misplace my own. I marked you in the hidden season by what you endured with a steady heart. I am not entertaining you. I am appointing you. If you are seeing this now, it is finally your time, not to rush, but to recognize what I have recognized in you. You called your season surviving. You called it holding on by a thread. You called it doing the minimum. I call it strength maturing in silence. Survival is not weakness. It is evidence of resilience. It is proof you did not surrender your identity to your circumstances. It is the sign that your root system outlasted the weather that tried to uproot you. You did not numb yourself to get through. You asked better questions. You let me touch your motives. You let me uncouple your hope from outcomes you could not control. That is endurance the way I define it. Faithfulness without a spotlight. Obedience without an audience. I measured moments few knew existed. I watched you serve when there was nothing to gain. I watched you bless those who did not return the favor. I watched you celebrate another's breakthrough while yours felt delayed. I watched you lay down your right to be understood when clarifying would only feed pride. I watched you take the longer road when a shortcut promised results at the price of your peace. These were not disposable days. These were consecrated decisions. Every quiet yes became a stone in the foundation under your feet. Every dignified silence became mortar. Every act of integrity in the absence of applause told me the truth about who you are when no one is watching. Do you know what I trust? I trust the one who honors small things without despising them. I trust the one who receives correction without collapsing in shame. I trust the one who guards their heart from bitterness when others accelerate. I trust the one who prefers fruit over fireworks, process over prominence, presence over performance. This is why I say you are chosen, not because you avoided struggle, but because in struggle you stayed soft. You let me keep your heart teachable. You let me keep your conscience tender. You let me keep your yes clean. A steady heart is a safe place for me to place weight. Your endurance became my evidence. You battled the lie that you had missed your window. You counted calendars and compared highlight reels. and worried that the algorithm of the world had passed you by. But I am not an algorithm. I am your Father. My timing does not rush and it does not lag. It aligns. This moment is divine timing, meeting your life in real time. Do not let anxiety interpret this as permission to strive. Let it settle as confirmation that your hidden work was not wasted and your hidden worship was not ignored. I do not speak carelessly. I do not choose lightly. I saw, I measured, I decided. And I am saying this to you now so that you will retire the label overlooked and wear the truth appointed. Because you endured, I can trust you with more. When honor arrives, you will not spend it trying to heal old insecurities. When influence increases, you will not trade your integrity to maintain it. When rooms open, you will not bend your boundaries to belong. You proved in the quiet that you can carry responsibility without charging it to your peace. Promotion is not escape for you, it is assignment. You will take the seat and keep your soul. You will speak with clarity because you learned silence with honor. You will move with calm because you learned stillness with me. And hear me on this because it explains more than you realized. Endurance formed integrity in you, but integrity also required separation. That is why I let certain doors close. That is why I let some relationships fade without chaos. That is why places that once felt warm began to feel cold. It was not punishment, it was preservation. Your future needed you unentangled from arrangements that could not hold your calling. Your steady heart could not be yoked to unstable environments. I cut ties that would have tied you in knots later. I narrowed your path to keep your peace wide. Stay with me. Let this identity anchor you as we step into the next instruction. What you called rejection was not a verdict against you. It was redirection for you. Your endurance authorized the separation, and the separation protected the integrity I love in you. Breathe and receive that. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not lost in the crowd. You are chosen by what you endured. You are trusted because you stayed. My child, attention. Stay here. Do not scroll past this, because this is where I untangle the lie that has stalked your heart. You called it rejection. I call it redirection. You called it loss. I call it precision. You named yourself not enough. I was protecting you from a smaller future that could not carry the weight of what I planned with you. Hear me. I did not block you to harm you. I redirected you away from what could not hold your calling. You stood before doors that looked right and felt urgent. You knocked. They would not open. You sent messages that were never returned. You prepared for interviews that dissolved without explanation. You watched opportunities pass to hands less careful than yours, and you wondered if heaven had gone quiet or if you had misheard entirely. Breathe. What you read as abandonment was guidance. What felt like dismissal was my hand on the hinge. I closed doors where your peace would have been the payment. I rerouted you from spaces that would have celebrated your gift but exploited your soul. I interrupted paths that required you to edit your convictions to keep your seat. Not because you weren't enough, but because it wasn't aligned. Let me say it again so it settles. Not because you weren't enough. Not because you were late. Not because you failed some secret test, but because it wasn't aligned with the integrity I formed in you, the pace that protects your health, the purpose that I refuse to dilute. Some choices promised visibility, but would have extracted your voice. Some roles paid well, but would have charged interest against your rest. Some communities looked spiritual, but were powered by comparison and performance. I was not sending you to laboratories where your worth would be measured by output. I was guarding your identity from atmospheres that ask you to perform, to belong. Do not villainize those I removed from proximity. Some people loved you to the measure they were able, but they could not follow you into what comes next, without pulling you backward into who you used to be. I orchestrated distance not as a sentence against them, but as a boundary for you. I let the text thread go quiet. I let the follow-up never arrive. I let the mutual convenience expire without conflict. This was not punishment. This was preservation. Entanglement is expensive. I will not let your future be mortgaged by relationships that require you to downsize your obedience to remain comfortable. Honor what was. Release what is no longer. Do not carry resentment into rooms designed for redemption. I know the ache of endings. Endings hurt even when they are holy. You are allowed to grieve without doubting me. Tears are not proof of unbelief. They are proof something mattered. Lament does not cancel alignment. It clears the fog so alignment can be seen. Bring me the photos in your mind you are tempted to keep replaying. Bring me the conversations that loop at night. Let me place peace where nostalgia keeps trying to negotiate. You can bury a season with gratitude without resurrecting it through regret. Grief is part of honor. Honor is part of release. Release is how you receive. Consider the specifics I shielded you from, and let it teach you how I choose. I closed doors that would have rewarded your hurry and penalized your health. I stopped collaborations that asked you to mute discernment to preserve a brand. I blocked paths that looked like promotion but would have put a price tag on your boundaries. I refused to let your name be fast-tracked into rooms where your conscience would be slow-walked out the back door. I hid you from algorithms that amplify noise and starve soul. I let your resume be overlooked by teams that celebrate outcomes and neglect people. I interrupted timelines that would have made you impressive and empty. Hear the kindness in my no. My no to that was my yes to you. My closed door was a compass, not a courtroom. When you personalize the no, shame grows. When you interpret the no as direction, wisdom grows. Do not waste time trying to reopen what I sealed to save you. Do not rehearse arguments in your head that will only reattach you to old expectations. Bless the door as you bless the day. Let gratitude speak a benediction over rooms that served their purpose and now stand behind you. You asked me for big things. Big things require clear pathways. Redirection is how I decongest your future. I remove the attractive detours so the aligned road is unmistakable. I prune so there is power in your fruit, not just foliage on your life. I simplify so you can recognize my movement without interference from the chorus of almosts. This is how I love you, steadily, precisely, with more concern for your becoming than for your appearing. Now listen carefully, because this is where the shift begins to show up in time. With redirection comes repositioning. I have not been circling you for sport. I have been guiding you for placement. You will notice subtle convergence, the right conversation arriving without you forcing it, the right invitation landing without you campaigning for it, the right clarity forming without you exhausting yourself to invent it. Do not confuse this with permission to strive again. Alignment is not forced, it is responded to. When I interrupt, it is because movement is required, but the movement I ask for now is calm, present responsiveness, not frantic grasping. If you are seeing this now, it is finally your time, not to chase, but to answer. My timing does not rush, and it does not lag. It aligns. Doors that once resisted will not require you to beg. People who once misunderstood will not require you to prove. You will step where peace points. You will say yes where integrity remains intact. You will let the no remain no where boundaries keep your soul safe. I am not entertaining you. I am appointing you. Stay with me. The window is opening, and your part is simple and holy. Receive the redirection as love. Let grief be clean and be ready to respond when peace says, now. My child, attention. Stay here with me. Do not scroll past this. Routine has almost caused you to miss what I am doing. When I interrupt, it is because movement is required, not frantic motion, not old striving, required movement that is ordered by peace. If you are seeing this now, it is finally your time. This is divine timing meeting your life in real time. I am not entertaining you. I am appointing you. A window is opening, and I am naming it for what it is so you recognize it when it breathes in front of you. Hear me define this window. A window is an alignment point where what I formed within you meets what I am unfolding around you. It is readiness, meeting opportunity. It is capacity meeting assignment. It is not early. It is not late. My timing does not rush, and it does not lag. It aligns. In a window, you do not force outcomes. You follow cues. In a window, doors that used to resist stop demanding that you prove your right to walk through them. In a window, the steps do not become effortless, but they become clear. Pressure decreases where peace increases, friction lifts where favor lands. I am opening this now. I know how you survived your previous seasons, by hustling, by over-explaining, by grabbing the first thing that looked like progress to quiet the noise in your chest. Retire that strategy. Hustle is not how you hold what I am giving you. Striving is not how you steward what I am assigning to you. Presence is, obedience is, calm responsiveness is. You do not need to yank on handles that I have already unlocked. You need to be present enough to notice which handle is warm with my now. You do not need to convince people who could not hear you before. You need to stand where peace points and let alignment introduce you. You do not need to broadcast desperation. You need to carry authority. Breathe. Let the quiet you learned become the ground from which you move. Do not treat this like content. Do not treat this like noise. Routine nearly made you miss the signals, how the right name resurfaced at the right time, how the idea that would not leave you sat back down at your table this week, how the invitation with integrity attached itself to your calendar. I am interrupting your autopilot. You have been faithful to discern in silence. Now be faithful to act from that same discernment. Close the extra tabs in your mind. Step out of the hallway of indecision. Be where your feet are. Listen for me the way you learned to, subtle, certain, anchored in peace, and then respond. Understand the choice before you. Alignment is not forced, it is responded to. I will not coerce you into destiny. I will call you into it. You can respond in faith, or you can delay yourself through hesitation. If you overcalculate to satisfy your fear, you will slow what I have synchronized. If you keep asking for a louder sign after I have given you a clear peace, your delay will feel like denial, though I never denied you. I do not shame you, I shepherd you, but I will not drag you. When I say, now, I am inviting you to step with me, not sprint past me and not sit beneath me, waiting for a guarantee that wipes out trust. Windows do not bully you, they beckon you. They do not stay open indefinitely, they open according to purpose. Treat this moment as weighty, and it will carry you. Treat it as light, and you will keep lifting what I was ready to carry with you. Responsiveness is not vague. It is visible through specific inner decisions and simple outward steps. Internally, choose clean motives over the performance of urgency. Lay down the need to be first and choose the desire to be faithful. Decide now that peace is your compass, not pressure. Refuse to take a seat you must pay for with your integrity. Outwardly, answer the call you have delayed because you feared you were not enough. Send the email that honors the door I am opening without apologizing for existing. Decline the offer that flatters your ego but fractures your rest. Submit the work I asked you to finish instead of rewriting it to impress people I did not assign to judge it. Set the appointment you keep postponing because you dread the formality of beginning. Open your calendar and block the time for what I actually told you to build. Clean your space. Prepare your tools. Rest the night I tell you to rest, so your yes tomorrow is not exhausted before it starts. These are not theatrics. These are responses. Let me steady your hands while you step. You learn to hear in silence. Now you will learn to move without frenzy. You will notice the choreography of small obediences, creating large clearance. The phone call that sets the sequence. The prayer whispered before you send the message that lands at the precise hour. The refusal to gossip that preserves an unseen pathway. The seed you release that unlocks provision. This is me aligning. This is not hype. This is holy. I am teaching you to steward flow without manufacturing momentum. If you are seeing this now, it is because the window is open now. Not to inflate you, but to place you. Not to make you loud, but to make you clear. Take this in. I am with you in the step. I go before you to prepare the room, and I enter with you to keep your peace. My timing does not rush, and it does not lag. It aligns. Stay with me. In the next breath, I will show you how to respond with quiet obedience, clean motives, and a steady yes. For now, receive this. You do not need to strive. You need to respond. Say yes in your heart. Breathe. Then take the next aligned step. My child, attention. Stay here with me. Do not skip this. This is where I place the answer you asked for into your hands. You wondered how to move without slipping back into old striving. You asked me to make it plain. Hear me. Response begins as posture before it becomes action. Before your calendar shifts, your heart must. Before your feet move, your will must bow. Surrender is the first step. Listening is the next. Willingness is the green light, not speed, not spectacle. Posture. Bring me your posture now. Unclench your need to control outcomes. Set down the urge to impress. Empty your hands of timelines you keep trying to enforce on grace. Say with your mouth and mean with your chest, I yield my pace to your peace. This is how alignment is recognized, by the way peace leads and pressure loses authority. I am not entertaining you, I am appointing you. Appointments are kept by hearts that are ready to hear, not by hands that hustle to be seen. Begin here with a heart audit. Where did bitterness begin to grow while you waited? Name it and bring it to me. Do not decorate it with explanations. Do not justify it with stories of who should have helped. Say what it is, resentment, jealousy, cynicism, and hand it over. Where did you go numb to protect yourself? Where did hope feel too expensive to hold? Tell me. Let me thaw what self-protection has frozen. Where did you stop expecting me to be good to you personally and settle for me being good in general? Confess it. I do not shame you for this truth. I free you through it. Bitter roots make clean windows look dirty. Numbness confuses calm with apathy. Unbelief dresses as realism and calls caution wisdom. Bring it all to me and watch how quickly peace returns when you let me be your healer, not just your helper. Quiet obedience is your next instruction, not grand gestures, not loud vows, not promises you announce when emotion is high. Quiet, repeatable yeses, small steps done consistently are stronger than loud pledges made once. Keep the commitment you made in prayer at 6 a.m. by the choices you make at 3 p.m. Finish the assignment you already started instead of searching for a newer, shinier one to mask your avoidance. Answer the message you have delayed, not because you need to prove anything, but because alignment requires closure and follow-through. Put in the application I told you to submit and then release the outcome. Show up to the meeting you scheduled, prepared, but unpressured. Read what I asked you to read. Rest when I say rest. Steward your health because you cannot carry this breakthrough with an exhausted soul. This is how momentum becomes a river. obedience stacked on obedience until flow forms. Let me teach you how to measure your steps. Quiet obedience looks like protecting your mornings so your yes has a spine. It looks like creating margin in your day, so my interruptions are not treated as inconveniences. It looks like choosing conversations that add clarity, not adrenaline. It looks like staying off stages I have not called you to so your voice remains clear where I have. It looks like tithing your attention to me before you spend it on everyone else. I am in your sequences. I am arranging your hours. Do not despise the small routines that preserve the large grace. Now, examine your motives with me. Clean motives matter. Why do you want this door? Why do you want this platform, this partnership, this role, this relationship, this move? If any of it is about proving people wrong, lay it down. If any of it is about escaping the humility of starting small, lay it down. If any of it is about catching up to someone else's timeline, lay it down. Validation is a leaky bucket. Comparison is a thief dressed as a coach. You will not carry peace into rooms you enter to settle a score. Move with me for what is true, not for what is trendy. Move because I said so, not because fear narrated a countdown. Your assignment is holy. Keep it clean, and I will keep it clear. Here is a test for motive. If no applause were guaranteed, would you still obey? If recognition never came, if metrics never shouted your name, if the only evidence of success was the innocence of your conscience and the fruit of quiet faithfulness, would you still say yes? That yes is the one I am asking for. That yes is the one that carries authority. That yes is the one that breaks cycles because it is not chained to outcomes. Your breakthrough begins with a steady yes, quiet obedience with a clean heart. Not a frantic yes, not a fearful yes, a steady yes. Do not scroll past this truth. You do not need to strive now. You need to receive and then move when I say move. Receive means open your hands. It means allow peace to set the tempo. It means believe I go before you. It means accept favor without sabotaging it by trying to pay for it with perfection. Receive correction without collapsing. Receive clarity without arguing for your limitations. Receive help. Receive rest. Receive the reality that what is opening now is meant to be carried with me, not proven to me. Why do you hesitate when the instruction is simple? Underneath non-response is often the same fear. The fear that delay meant you missed it. The fear that your moment was fragile and you were too slow. The fear that others have already taken the seats that had your name on them. The fear that if you hope now, disappointment will be louder than last time. I am correcting that lie directly. You did not miss me. I do not misplace my own. What I preserved for you was never up for auction. My timing does not rush and it does not lag. It aligns. The delay was not denial. It was protection and preparation. I did not hide the door from you. I hid you for the door. Hear me break the cycle of second guessing. I redeem time by alignment, not by panic. I restore sequences by peace, not by pressure. I recover what matters by guiding your steps, not by flooding your calendar. When you respond in this window, you are not catching up. You are coming into. You are not behind. You are arriving. Let these sentences reset your reflexes. Every time fear says, "You missed it," answer, "My Father aligns." Every time shame says, "You were too slow," answer, "He was strengthening me." Every time comparison says, "There is no room left," answer, "Windows open where He wills." So here is how you respond today. Say yes in your heart and keep saying yes in your habits. Bring me your bitterness and let me wash it. Bring me your numbness and let me warm it. Bring me your dead expectations and let me resurrect them without the theatrics of pressure. Write the 3 small obediences you will carry out in the next 24 hours and do them quietly. Clean your motive by naming it and offering it back to me, not to prove them wrong, not to be seen, to be true. Guard your peace by saying no where your boundaries say no. Protect your rest as if it were part of your calling, because it is. Return to what I last said and do it, not loudly, not perfectly, but faithfully. If you are seeing this now, it is finally your time, not to hurry but to heed, not to scramble but to surrender, not to demand a map but to follow me step by step. Alignment is not forced, it is responded to. I am with you in the response. I will meet your steady yes with steady provision. Breathe. Receive. Move when I say move. And as you do, you will discover what you waited to discover. Peace is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of me, guiding every step you take. My child, attention, stay with me. Do not skip this. Let me settle the war in your chest. You did not miss it. Hear me say it like a bell that refuses to stop ringing. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not disqualified by the wait. I am correcting the record you've been keeping against yourself. You marked late. I mark aligned. You wrote missed window. I write set for convergence. You measured by a stopwatch. I measure by synchronization. My timing does not rush and it does not lag, it aligns. Understand what that means for you now. I do not move you by panic. I move you by precision. I synchronize you with people who are ready to receive you, with places that can sustain you, with provision that will not punish you, and with a version of you that is formed enough to carry what you prayed for without being crushed by it. Alignment is not a countdown that shames you for breathing. Alignment is a choreography that honors your becoming. When I held you in silence, I was not ignoring you. I was tuning you. When I delayed the door, I was reinforcing the frame so the room would not collapse when you entered. Lift the burden you put on your own shoulders and hand it to me. You blamed yourself for the quiet. You took the hush of heaven as a verdict against your value. You replayed conversations and minor missteps as if one wrong turn could void a promise I wrote before time. Breathe. I am removing that false weight now. Stand upright again. Shame bends you forward into apology. Grace raises you into alignment. I am not here to make you relive what you think you ruined. I am here to restore your posture so you can walk with me without the flinch of self-accusation. Look back at the long season and see it with clean eyes. What you called wasted months were sharpening. What you called circles were spirals bringing you higher with each rotation. You learned the difference between hurry and holy urgency. You learned the frequency of peace so you can tell when a room tunes itself to pressure. You can discern flattery from favor now. You can hear manipulation knocking before you open. You can separate momentum that is manufactured from movement that is me. This is not nothing. This is why you are trusted with what is opening. Selection is not about speed. It is about substance. Many start loud. Few stay steady. You stayed. Take this promise and ground it in your bones. What is coming is not a flash. It is a foundation. I am not handing you fireworks that impress for a moment and leave smoke. I am building a fire in you that warms generations and does not burn you out. Sustained, not sensational. Built to last, not built to trend. Fruit that remains, not statistics that spike and starve your soul. I am not elevating you to entertain comparison. I am establishing you to serve purpose. When I said I would do it, I also meant I would keep it. My timing does not rush, and it does not lag. It aligns. If I had answered you on the day you begged me to, you would have walked into rooms that loved your gift and ignored your limits. If I had opened the platform when you were still performing to belong, The applause would have trained your heart to work for love instead of from love. If I had hurried the relationship while your boundaries were still being formed, you would have confused intensity for safety. I am not late. I am loving. I am not withholding. I am weaving. I was preparing the terrain while I was strengthening your steps. Now that the lie is broken, treat it as broken. Do not keep returning to old coping patterns as if you are still in the same season. Old patterns are old permissions. They do not travel with you. Stop over-explaining to buy acceptance I have already given. Stop over-committing to soothe the fear of being forgotten. Stop browsing for substitutes every time patience feels empty. Stop shrinking your voice when rooms feel loud. Stop apologizing for the pace of peace and calling it humility. Your new season requires new stewardship. You cannot carry new grace in the containers that leaked last year. Here is how you stabilize this truth in motion. When anxiety says, hurry, answer with align. When shame says, too late, answer with on time. When comparison says, they're ahead, answer with I am placed. When your body reaches for the busy work that numbs, choose the small obedience that builds. Choose prayer before you press send. Choose one finished task over 5 frantic starts. Choose rest when peace calls you off the stage. Choose boundaries that keep your yes clean. Choose gratitude that ends the negotiation with regret. These choices are not small. They are how truth becomes structure. If you are seeing this now, it is because I am stabilizing you now. I am ending the false countdowns that injuries began. I am dissolving the internal deadlines fear drew with a shaky hand. You thought you were late because a clock in your pain kept buzzing. I am turning that alarm off. Alignment is the clock you live by now. Watch how the right conversations arrive without you forcing them. Watch how you recognize counterfeits in minutes that used to deceive you for months. Watch how you refuse the bait of spectacle because substance finally feels like home. My child, let this settle. You did not miss my promise. Even the years you call lost were invested into the depth you will draw from now. I redeem time by alignment, not by panic. I restore order by peace, not by pressure. Lift your head, square your shoulders. This is not a sprint to make up what cannot be measured. This is a walk with me inside a timing that holds. And because I am breaking this lie fully, hear the transition clearly. Do not carry yesterday's fear into the door that is opening today. In the next steps, I will teach you how to steward what I am giving you, so you do not forfeit it to habits I already freed you from. For now, believe me and breathe. My timing does not rush and it does not lag. It aligns. You are not behind. You are precisely where grace meets you, and we go forward from here. My child, attention, stay with me. Do not carry yesterday's fear into today's door. Do not let old alarms escort you into a new room and tell you how to behave. You asked me to open it. I have. Now I am asking you to carry it with me. What I bring to you must be maintained by you. Through peace, through discipline, through boundaries, through prayer, through discernment. I am not handing you a sparkler that burns bright and ends in seconds. I am giving you a flame that needs tending. This is not hype. This is not impulse. This is wisdom. Hear me teach you how to hold what is holy without hustling, how to build without bleeding peace into the ground. Stewardship begins with guarding the atmosphere of your soul. Protect your peace like a foundation stone. Start your days where we meet, not where fear markets its urgency. Make room for stillness that tunes you to my voice, before the noise negotiates your priorities. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. Put your yes on a schedule that honors your purpose. Put your screen down when I say enough. Put your body to rest when I whisper, stop. Your energy is seed. Sow it with intention. Set boundaries that keep your yes clean. Your no is not rebellion. Your no is reverence for what I have asked you to carry. Do not rent out your focus to every request that flatters you. Do not spend your time paying for belonging I already gave you. Choose proximity to voices that call you higher without diluting your peace. Fewer voices, deeper roots. Counsel that is wise, not loud. Conversation that clarifies, not accelerates adrenaline. Prayer is how you breathe in this season. Not only petitions, but presence. Not only speaking, but listening. Keep short accounts with me. Confess quickly, forgive quickly, adjust quickly. Discernment is your compass. Let peace umpire your choices, not pressure. Let alignment confirm your steps, not anxiety's countdowns. Now at the door, set down what cannot come through. Overthinking, lay it down. It promised safety and delivered paralysis. You called it stewardship, and it was fear auditioning as wisdom. Rushing, lay it down. You used it to outrun discomfort, and it robbed you of clarity. People-pleasing, lay it down. You traded discernment for applause and paid with your boundaries. Self-sabotage, lay it down. The part of you that ruins opportunities to avoid the risk of being seen will not lead this next chapter. Waiting for permission, lay it down. You asked for signs long after I gave you peace. Bring them to the threshold and release them. If you drag them into this room, they will repaint the walls with old colors and tell you it has not changed. I say it has. Take this reassurance into your bones. You will not have to beg for what is aligned. You will not have to perform at the altar of scarcity to keep what is yours. Aligned rooms do not demand you shrink. Aligned partners do not barter your rest for your relevance. Aligned assignments carry a clarity that steadies you. What is yours will recognize you without hostage negotiations. What is not yours will blur, exhaust, overcomplicate, and bargain with your peace. Believe me when I tell you, you will not have to hustle to hold what heaven handed. You will have to be faithful, consistent, and honest. Not hype, not impulse, but wisdom. Let me acknowledge your growth. You are more grounded now. Your emotions do not whip you into storms the way they once did. You can hold joy without bracing for the slap of loss. You can receive favor without questioning how to pay it back with perfection. You can hear not yet without translating it into never. Your heart is softer and your spine is stronger. You are less easily shaken by metrics and more guided by meaning. You are not who you were when you first prayed for this. That is why you can carry it now without it carrying you away. So steward with maturity in practical ways. Build rhythms that match what you are carrying. Protect a day of rest each week and treat it as covenant, not convenience. Schedule deep work for what I assigned and defend it from trivial drains. Tithe your attention. Give me the first and the best. Keep your financial house honest. Generosity keeps your heart unhooked from greed and fear. Guard your body. Strength is also spiritual when it protects your service from collapse. Curate what you consume. What you feed your mind grows in your decisions. Delete access that dishonors your boundaries. Invite accountability that loves you enough to tell you when drift begins. Keep the altar clear. Worship is how you prevent the promise from becoming an idol. Sing gratitude into the mundane so performance never becomes your God. Remember, the point of the promise is intimacy, not exposure. The point of the open door is communion, not spectacle. Stay childlike in wonder and adult in stewardship. Let rest crown your work so your work never dethrones your rest. Keep asking, am I abiding or proving? Am I aligned or rushing? If pressure answers, pause. If peace leads, proceed. In decision-making, apply the tests we have rehearsed. Is there peace? Is there clarity without compulsion? Does this step require me to betray a boundary I set with me and you? Does it ask me to silence the voice that grew in silence with me? Does it flatter what I crucified or feed what I resurrected? Wisdom will keep you. You do not need to dramatize discernment. You need to obey it. Small, steady, sacred. Doors open. You walk through. You do your part. I do mine. My child, do not scroll past this moment. Stand at the threshold with me and breathe. Say it out loud where you are. I refuse to bring old fear into new doors. Place your hand on what I have given you and choose stewardship over spectacle. Choose prayer over panic. Choose boundaries over bargaining. Choose rest over relentless proving. Choose love over leverage. If you are seeing this now, it is because I am forming this in you now. My timing does not rush, and it does not lag. It aligns. As you keep this posture, you will find ease without laziness, momentum without frenzy, growth without grief to your soul. You will recognize that what I give is sustained by walking with me, not by performing for me. And you will discover the quiet joy I always intended. Working from love, not for it. Moving from peace, not toward it. Building with me, not instead of me. Let this be your stewardship. Maturity wrapped in worship. Discipline kissed by rest. Clarity married to compassion. We step through the door together, and together we keep it. My child, attention. Stay here with me. Do not skip this. Slow your breathing. Slow your mind. Let this settle inside you as truth, not adrenaline, as rhythm, not rush. I am sealing what I have said so it will not be stolen by the next loud thing that passes your screen. Stay with me until peace becomes the weight in your chest that anchors you. Stay with me until your pulse agrees with my pace. This is not entertainment. This is not a moment to sample and forget. This is divine timing meeting your life in real time. Hear the reframes one more time and let them become the scaffolding of your memory. Delay was not denial. Silence was not absence. Rejection was redirection. The pause was protection. The quiet was alignment forming around you. The slow years were strength being built in you. You were not stuck. You were being fortified. You were not overlooked. You were being hidden for the right reveal. Not early, not late, aligned. I saw the nights you kept walking without applause. I saw the prayers whispered when no one asked. The choices you made when no one would know. The tears you gave me instead of giving up. I marked your endurance as trustworthiness. I chose you not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. Many start loud, few stay steady. You stayed. This is why you are safe to carry what is opening. You will not lose yourself to what I give, because you found yourself in me while you waited. Now hear your commission and let it land with calm authority. You are stepping forward differently, guided, not frantic, steady, not desperate, peace-led, not pressure-driven. Your movement will be marked by clarity without compulsion. Your speech will be clean. Your motives will be simple. Your yes will be steady. You will move when peace confirms, and you will rest when peace restrains. Receive this correction as a crown. You are not behind, and you do not have to hurry to prove it. Receive peace first, then move with me. This is the cadence that keeps you. I am asking you to join me in a simple moment of worship and receiving. Right where you are, speak gratitude. Say, thank you for keeping me when I could not keep myself. Thank you for protecting what I could not see. Thank you for aligning what I could not arrange. Open your hands and release control. Say, I lay down my timelines, my proving, my bargains. I agree with your alignment. Place your hand over your heart and say, peace of God, rule here. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Breathe me in. I am nearer than your worry. I am louder than your fear when you choose to listen. Now, seal the agreement. Whisper your yes again. Yes to quiet obedience. Yes to clean motives. Yes to the pace of peace. Let that yes move from prayer into practice. When this ends, do not sprint for something to validate that you believed. Sit in the assurance for a moment. Write the one next step that peace already highlighted, not 10. 1. Finish what I last asked. Send the message you owe in honor. Close the tab that drains your focus. Put your phone down for an hour and give me your attention. Go to bed on time because rest is part of your calling. These are not small, they are alignment in motion. As you move, expect confirmation to come gently, not with a siren. Expect doors that fit, not doors that force you to bend out of shape. Expect rooms where your peace increases, not where your insides brace. Expect favor that does not demand you perform to keep it. Expect clarity that does not bully you. What is yours will not manipulate you. What is not yours will not be able to counterfeit peace for long. You are more discerning now. Trust what I trained in you. When old fear tries to narrate this new chapter, answer it with what we have established. Delay was not denial. Silence was alignment. Rejection was redirection. My timing does not rush and it does not lag. It aligns. If this word met you, hold it. If you feel led to support the place that brought it to you, do it quietly, without pressure as worship, not to buy favor but to honor the flow that fed you. But more than anything, keep your agreement intact. Guard your mornings. Guard your boundaries. Guard your gratitude. Gratitude protects perspective. Worship protects motive. Boundaries protect assignment. Rest protects longevity. This is how you keep what I give without losing yourself to what I give. My child, hear me conclude and commission you. When the window opens, respond. Not with striving, but with steady obedience. Say yes and step through. When peace confirms, do not delay with endless analysis. Move. When peace withholds, do not bargain with pressure. Wait. Do not chase signs while ignoring the signal I planted in you. Do not hunt for fleeces when I have trained your ear to hear me. You are ready to recognize alignment because alignment has been forming in you. Your inner readiness is the first sign. The external door is the second. Both are converging now. Let this settle as the new normal. You will not be led by adrenaline. You will be led by me. You will not exhaust yourself proving you belong. You will act from the belonging I already gave you. You will not drag old coping into new commission. You will answer my interruptions with attention and my invitations with obedience. If you are seeing this now, it is because I am commissioning you now, not to hype yourself up, to hold yourself steady, to move with me. Lift your chin, square your shoulders, breathe again. Peace first, then movement. Presence first, then progress. Alignment first, then action. I am with you in each step, not waiting at the finish line with a clipboard. We walk together, we work together, we win together. Do not return to doubt, return to listening. Watch for the window, respond quickly when peace confirms it. And as you do, you will find that what you waited for was not simply a door to walk through, but a way to walk, hand in hand with me, steady in peace, aligned in time.